All right, we are live on both Facebook up here and YouTube down here. So if you ever wonder why my attention goes back and forth, because if I look here, this is the middle. I'm not sure how that looks in each camera, but um, I have two different cameras, and I'm just buying a little bit of time for other people to hop on here. But if you were in a service this past Sunday at Pioneer, I told you that we would try to come to you with as much information as we can as things could potentially change for Pioneer. It's great to be able to meet together in person this past Sunday. And obviously, tomorrow, Wednesday, begins the governor's 2 week freeze. And I told you on Sunday what we were going to be doing is waiting to hear from the Grove because we wanted to because of their graciousness and allowing us to meet there. We wanted to follow what they would desire for us to do. And so I've been waiting to hear back from them before we move forward with our plans for the next couple of weeks. And so was finally able to get some communication back from them today. And there are a few pieces of very pertinent information uh, from them that I want to share with you all that will also affect our plans for the next 2 weekends that I think are imperative for you to know. I do want you to know that we spent some time planning and praying and trying to come up with the best option. And so, again, I told a couple of you on Sunday I felt like we might be in for a little bit of a time of a little bumpy ride here between now and certainly the end of the year and the next couple of weeks and months. And so, a couple of things that they're asking from us from the Grove. Number one is that they are asking us to abide by the 25-person per room or per building request there. And so, obviously, on a Sunday morning, we'll typically have more than 25 people in the building on a Sunday morning. And so, we're going to have to make some adjustments that I'll tell you about here in just a minute. On top of that, they have requested that if you are in the building over the next 2 weeks, that you wear a mask. And they've also asked for us to be very peculiar about our social distancing. And I know since this has been since its inception, I have encouraged if you're willing to and able to wear a mask, you can. But I've also given you the freedom, and many of you have chosen to, and some of you have chosen not to. But also I've been thankful that many of you have chosen not to, have been careful. And when we sing, you step back further from people and those kinds of things. But over the next 2 weeks, they are requesting from the Grove that if you're in the building, and they've not set this limit, but really 5 or over, that you would wear a mask and be aware of proper social distancing, because the Grove is trying their best to stay in compliance with the Oregon Health Authority during this 2 week freeze, and they're really trying to stay in compliance with that, and that can obviously have major adverse effects for their business if they don't. And so that is what they're really trying to do, and so we don't want to be a deterrent for them in that way. And so over the next 2 weeks, if we want to meet in person, these are some of the things we have to do: limit rooms to 25, wear a mask when we're indoor, and maintain proper social distancing. So, with all of those things mentioned over the next 2 weeks, there are a few things that we decided to do. First of all, on Sunday morning, we had discussed a couple different things. We discussed splitting and having two different services, one at 9 and one at 10:30, or doing something different. And we've actually decided to go a different direction for a few logistical reasons. And what we're going to be doing is going to be having one, like normal on Sunday, one 10:30 a.m. service it is imperative that you register for. We need you to, if you plan to come to that service, we need you to register for that. And what we're going to do at this 10:30 service, how we're going to limit it to 25 per room or per building. On that Sunday morning, the next 2 Sunday mornings, November 22nd and 29th, we will be having nursery at 10:30 a.m. and a kids class for all the kids of all ages at the 10:30 time slot. And so we have a room that Daniel will have the kids class in. That's all non-nursery kids, even through the teenagers, and then the nursery. So between the nursery workers, the nursery kids, the Pioneer Kids and Elevate workers, and and the kids that would go to that, we think that we would be able to split into 3 different places and no one place have more than 25 people in it. And so that's what we're aiming to do, and that's why it's so imperative for you to register if you plan to come to the service this week. Now, what we would normally do is we would normally meet and then dismiss. But again, because of some of these things and only having 25 in a building, we're asking that each person go directly to their building. So take your kids directly to nursery when you arrive, or take your kids directly to the kids class or the Pioneer Elevate room, and we'll give some direction on that. And have some people to point the way on Sunday, but take them directly to that and then come to the building. Another thing that we have typically and always had a policy where parents, if they wanted to keep their kids in the auditorium with them rather than going to kids class or nursery, we were always totally fine with that. However, over the next 2 weeks, we are asking if you have a kid that is the age of Pioneer Kids or Elevate to have them go to that, or if you have a kid that's nursery age, to please send them to nursery. And the reason we're doing that is because, again, the limits of the number of people that we can have in a room. And so let's say we have, we have 25 people in the auditorium, but 3 of them are nursery age kids. But I've got adults that want to come to the service, but I have no other option. They can't go to nursery. They can't go to Pioneer Kids. They can only come to the auditorium. I mean, I guess they could go to nursery, but that's not what they're there for. Where you're taking up a couple, 1, 2, or 3, or 4 of the opportunities for an adult to come when your child could be in nursery. And so we are asking, if you have a nursery age child, if at all possible, take them to nursery so that we can free up those spaces for the adults in the auditorium, and then kids in Pioneer Kids class. We will be obviously live streaming over the next 2 weeks, and so that is an option as well. Obviously, we'd love to have you come, but we're also trying to kind of juggle the right amount of people and all of those kinds of things. And so with that being said, I will say, with even the potential of we have some people even in our church just this week reach out and say, hey, Pastor, I've had a cough and a runny nose. I'm going to get tested. There's no extra positives yet that I'm aware of, but it's just kind of the season for the sniffles and sneezes to go around. And so if you are elderly or in one of those increased risk categories, we certainly understand if you want to stay home over the next 2 weeks, and that's not an issue at all. But please just communicate those things to us so that we can be best prepared. And again, we're trying our best to juggle this over the next 2 weeks in a safe manner, but in a manner that allows us to still be able to meet together in person. And then on Sunday evenings, we're putting a freeze ourselves on Sunday evening in-person service. Dean and I had a little bit of discussion just a little while ago about what we want to do for Sunday evening. If we're able to get things together, we may be able to stream a service online on Sunday evenings. There's a possibility we may not be able to. There's a possibility it might just be one Sunday and not the other Sunday. So we've gotten all the details. Again, we're just trying to, as we're processing this information and planning, we're trying to do the best thing we can. But Sunday evenings cuts down at this point on one less contact opportunity. That's also one of those things. We don't want to split into multiple services on a Sunday evening with the things that we have going on. Obviously, we had fun night planned, and so it's going to change our schedule quite a bit. So we won't have a Sunday evening service on the 22nd. We won't have one on the 29th. The first time we meet back together will be December 6th. And the plan for December 6th is a family night in a gingerbread house building time and competition. And then on the 13th, we're going to have a Lord's Supper service. On the 20th, we're going to be doing a Christmas singing service. And then on the 27th, that's where we're going to move the fun night to. We thought it'd be a great way to end the year with a fun night. And so that's going to be moved to the 27th. Some of you that were part of Fun Night and had lines to learn for skits, well, you got yourself an extra month now. And so we're going to plan that for the 27th. So again, we'll try to get back to you on some of those other details about Sunday night and those kinds of things. Again, schedules may be juggled. But for right now, that is the plan. Again, only 25 people in a room. So if you're going to the auditorium, go directly to the auditorium. If you're going to The nursery, please take your kid directly to the nursery. If they're going to the kids class, take them directly to the kids class at 10:30. And register. We need you to register and be there. And then again, only 25 people in a room. They're requesting that we wear masks anytime that we're indoor, and then also that we take seriously social distancing during these next 2 weeks. And listen, the more you can help us out with this, the better they feel, and the easier we can move on to December and enjoying the holidays and being able to meet back together. Again, I know right now it's not an ideal situation, but we are trying to do the best that we can. If you have questions or anything like that, please feel free to reach out and let us know. Again, it's so important for you this week to register so that we can have a proper understanding of the numbers and where we need people to be, and all of those things. And so, Emily, Melissa, you say you haven't been getting register emails, and so they have been going out. I'd asked that a couple Sundays ago because I noticed I wasn't getting them either. My personal mailbox was, but the church mailbox wasn't, which it should have been. And so, if that's you as well, if you're not getting those emails, please. Registration. I'm sorry, registration emails. I have not sent them out over the last couple weeks. No, I have not. So I was sorry. I was confused about that. The past couple weeks, I've not sent them out. But we are going to send them out this week. As a matter of fact, as soon as this video is done, I am going to link this video in an email along with the registration form in an email. And so we'll have that going out to you as well. Listen, I spent the day trying to get all of this stuff worked out, but also preparing for some of the things we have coming up. I'm really excited about the holiday season, a Christmas sermon series. I was going to stick with John, but I've decided to go with a 3-week Christmas sermon series, kind of following in the footsteps of Ebenezer Scrooge. I'm not going to be a Scrooge, but we're going to look at what the Bible says about Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas future. And I look forward to that and some interesting things go along with that. I look forward to the Sunday evenings we will have in December between the gingerbread houses and the Lord's Supper and the singing and the fun night. It's going to be great. And so I look forward to being able to get back together with you on those things. And I appreciate you guys just being able to work with us. Again, if you have any questions or anything, please let us know, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as we can. And again, appreciate your flexibility on that. Hope you guys have a great night, and we'll talk to you later.